Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. As you know, today's Friday. You will hear this episode on Monday, and today's Friday, so of course I'm bringing my co-host Mel in with me, and today we are going to talk about the CP statistics, aka cerebral palsy statistics, because I don't know why you guys are so interested in cerebral palsy. I must be doing something right. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mel open it up, and he's going to lead, and then I'll chime in when he needs me to. And this is part one of my 30th birthday episode, believe it or not. So this episode will be coming out on Monday. The part two will be coming out on June 22nd, which is a Thursday. So special episode there for you guys. And Mel is going to lead on that one too. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mel take it away.
Well, hello. Happy day to all of you, and a early possible happy birthday in advance, and we're going to celebrate that. And we're going to kick it off with an awesome episode on CP. I'm going to get quite an education here, and I also did a little bit of research and saw some fantastic footage of dance being integrated and implemented with CP, and I'm just absolutely stunned by it. So anyway, Wynn, glad to be on board with you today as usual. And so what's going on your end? What shall we start with on the CP? What kind of education can we fire off with today?
Okay, I was thinking about this, and the stats now pretty much scare me, which is 764,000 kids and adults have CP according to the CDC, and that pretty much scares me because you guys all know where the U.S. is going with Obamacare, and yeah, when you have a physical disability, you know this, it is tenfold on the insurance companies. You know, as of last year, I was going to ask my employer for a full-time job, 4 mornings a week. But because of my physical disability, I decided against it because their insurance rates will go up because of my pre-existing conditions. Now, my colleague has a son with Down syndrome, so I don't know what they're doing about that. I don't know what my employer's doing about that because she's full-time, so obviously she gets insurance benefits, but I don't know if her son has anything to do with her insurance being higher than the average teacher because of his Down syndrome. I didn't get into that kettle of fish. I have enough problems with my own disability than dealing with someone else's disabilities. But that's why, one of the reasons why I don't work full time, because health insurance to the average employer isn't very pretty when you involve a person with cerebral palsy or any physical disability at that.
Wow, that's going to be a pretty tough situation. So, just so I'm clear, if you have cerebral palsy as a pre-existing condition, you're not going to be covered by Obamacare. Is that what I'm trying to understand here?
I am. Luckily, I am. But
okay.
I pay for Obamacare on my own. My employer doesn't pay diddly squat for my health insurance because they're so afraid that their health insurance policies will go up, skyrocket, even skyrocket, because they have a staff and with the pre-existing condition.
Wow, that's going to put a lot of families in a tough situation.
Yeah. So when Obamacare goes out the door, a lot of families, including myself, will be out the door with no health insurance. That is why I'm getting a degree in journalism, and I'm potentially applying to for jobs through my school, with my school, so that they and eventually I will move out to California because these jobs require a move, but so that I get health insurance in some way. Now, I'm lucky enough that my family, they have sent me, since President-elect came into office, don't worry about your health insurance, we'll pay for it. I am lucky in that respect.
Sure.
I am lucky that I'm not mentally fragile either. I have a friend who's mentally fragile, and I just don't know what he's going to do when Obamacare goes out the door. So it's not only because of my physical disability that I'm not working full time. That's only a small smidgen. It's more my psyche that can't handle preschool. But that's the true story of why I'm not working full time, because anyone with a pre-existing condition, even though there's a million equal opportunity employers out there, they are so concerned about health insurance that they would nicely tell me no.
It's almost discriminatory, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it. I mean, they're not going to hire you because you have a pre-existing condition.
Well, if you look on a job application, you will see equal opportunity employer, and what that means. I actually applied not only for a job at the Academy of Arts, but as of today, because I'll potentially get that one because I already have my foot in it all, but I actually applied for a job in journalism at Berkeley too, and I'll potentially get that one after. And Berkeley is an equal opportunity employer. So when you guys go look on job sites, or if you are hiring a disabled person, you may want to keep health insurance stats in the back of your mind, because the families that can't afford it will automatically ask the child or the adult employer if they can get health insurance. I know they will.
Right. Yeah, it's the package deal, right? It's one of the attractive parts of the compensation plan, but it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts to it and a lot of hooks and hoops to jump through. Yeah. Doesn't sound like a positive.
Majorly.
Right.
No, dealing with Obamacare is not. I've been dealing with insurance and me for 30 years now, almost 30, and so I pretty much know what's going on in the healthcare field. And my family, they both went to the nurse, I believe, at Mount Sinai, which is a well-known hospital in New York. The other one works for Kaiser Permanente in Boulder, Colorado, and they won't even help me with health insurance. They won't even help their niece with health insurance. And Kaiser Permanente is one of the bigger health insurance entities nationwide. So I'm like, you guys won't give me any advice on that one. So, no, my family's been fighting health insurance as a part of cerebral palsy, me having cerebral palsy since the 80s, 87 to be exact.
Right. Wow. And you're knocking on the door at 30. You're still a spring chicken.
Yes. Yes. So I have to fight this fight just a little bit longer, but I have decided that my back surgery, which did not happen, was going to be my last surgery forever. And so let's hope that stays the case, because without Obamacare, even though I'll be fine, most families will not be. And you see scary news stories all the time, especially in Sacramento and in San Francisco and everywhere else. And living out here in Aspen, Colorado is not cheap. Living in Sacramento is not cheap. Living in San Francisco is not cheap. I mean, we're talking about the three most popular town, one most popular town and two most popular cities in the country. And even though they're all beautiful in their own little rights here, so getting back to health insurance and getting back to CP, if we all didn't have Obamacare, half the nation, I think, would be looking for insurance care in the wrong places.
Right. Yeah, and then the vicious circle and spiral continues, right? It doesn't get any better. Wow. So, okay. Yeah, it's every angle you look at, there are people that are getting affected negatively with this whole thing. In theory, it was a great idea, but it came at a great cost on both sides of the fence, right? You know, I don't know what the solution is. Is it? Can you actually do it?
No, I don't either.
Without hurting one side?
I don't either.
Without hurting one side or the other? I mean, as an enterprising nation, as a capitalistic society, can we actually do it?
I'll go ahead. I don't know, can we actually do this health insurance thing? And I asked my employer, I said, well, can you give me a 401k? And they go, no, because you're a part-time employee. And I said, well, what if I turned it to 5 mornings a week? And they go, I haven't heard back to them. They probably went gulp. And I'm not asking for health insurance, then I pay my own health insurance. But the difference, I am very high functioning, even though I have CP, and you guys know that by now, and you guys support this podcast, which I think is wonderful, but at the same time, we have to be more of an advocate. I mean, I asked someone in my network, will United Cerebral Palsy provide me a scholarship to go to school? And thankfully, I'm financially covered on staff and loans and 2 grants and all that good stuff, and a Pella grant. And I'm also talking to my Voc Rehab, which I quickly discovered the other day that they would help me out with reading capabilities. Let's just put it that way. And so through those Voc Rehabs and through the Pella grants and through loans, I'm financially covered. But I said I really thought about going back to school again, because I'm like, me paying off loans, I can, as long as I don't have to go on healthy, and hopefully that won't happen where I turn and one second I have health insurance, next second I don't. But I am super lucky that I am super high functioning with CP, the severity of CP that I do have, I am lucky that I am high functioning enough to do a podcast. Thank you very much.
Right.
But I
Absolutely.
feel like the more awareness we bring to CP and less research. I mean, you're the third person, Mel, today that's asked me, how can we help you win on CP land? And I said, less research on a diagnosed disability, more awareness. Thank you. Let's do a 50-50 split.
Right. Yeah, it's awareness is great but without action, it's nothing, right? I mean, you can educate all you want, but
and research, not
right.
my own national cause, and I believe United Cerebral Palsy is international too. UPC does enough research and not enough awareness on disabilities, and I hope this gets spread to UPC. I hope that all the work I've been doing eventually gets spread to United Cerebral Palsy so they can get back to me and come on this podcast. And that's my biggest wish, to have my national organization come on this podcast and explain to all my fan base, the disabled and the non-disabled, why in the heck they're doing so much research when they're not doing enough awareness.
Right. Yeah, it's if you're going to do all the research and uncover factoids, you got to spread that information out so that people understand exactly what's going on. Yes.
And then that's why I'm in the experimental research programs, Exoland and exoskeletons, and spreading the word about that too, and robotics and everything else, because I'm into awareness. I'm not necessarily into research. You can research a disability until you're blue in the face, but that will send you down a Google rabbit hole that I don't want to send anyone down.
Well, there's also the kind of research that's more applied, that's an applied behavioral science, right, where you're actually living it. You're actually, you are gathering data and intel on everyday life and the causes and effects of what you have. And you can share that.
Exactly.
I've built an entire career on that. I have 33 years of professional biography of clients that have helped me prior up to this moment. And if you were standing in front of me, I can tell you that every person I had prior to me helped me, is helping me help you and moving forward. So, when you say research, you're talking medical research, you're talking academia, you're doing all that. But, you're a pretty influential, no, you're not pretty influential, you're very influential, Lynn, in that.
Yeah,
and
with my journalistic training now, I'll be a powerhouse, quite frankly, because I should receive my doctorate in CP something, because God knows I've been fighting it and living with it for almost 30 years. And now, as you guys know, as my fan base knows, and they can jump on Google and jump down my throat, CP can manifest itself in totally different ways. And but I would not like to have a child diagnosed with any disability, much less CP nowadays. I thought 87 was odd. Oh, the 90s were easy. The 2017s, not so much. Thank you, Mr. President-elect.
It's at this point, I think your life is about to start, and I say that humbly, and I say that with with deep respect. I mean, I'm turning 53 this year, and I've spent the last probably 10, 15 years going through with my own, stumbles and falls and whatnot. And everything I do every day is absolute just refinement and trying to do my best to, I have a passion for bringing the best out of others as a coach, and I'm constantly looking at ways to improve. I've got some major things I'm working on right now, and in respect to you, at the incredibly young, brilliant age of 30, you've got easily another 30 years to build a legacy through your journalism, through your own self-applied research. You've got a great base to work with, and I think when it's all said and done, when you're really gonna help a lot of people win. No pun intended, but you are.
No pun intended.
So,
yeah.
Right. I needed to say that.
That's my hope. That's my hope. And now I know they have. Speaking of dancing and speaking of dancing, I know they have ballet classes for the disabled in New York. And no, I didn't get a chance to read that article you sent me, bad co-host. But I want you to. I want you to extend the research you did on this podcast.
With pleasure. Now, you'll have to forgive me in that I don't have specific names, but I can tell you that I was stunned when I watched what I watched. It's not actually an article more so than it is. It's a video expose on YouTube, and all I did was I Googled dance and CD, and this unbelievable expose came on with this gentleman who has CP, and he's just dancing gracefully, and he is part of a dance troupe. It's almost as if it were like an Alvin Ailey dance troupe, the world famous Alvin Ailey dance troupe. And not only that, they showed him dancing on his own, and then they showed him in the class with other people who have CP. And then they showed a production that they did that was unbelievably beautiful. And it's not even what really impressed me the most, and this is coming from a person of physical motion, and I've spent my entire career studying it and deeply appreciating it, is that the athleticism was just coupled with such flow and passion. You could just feel the love behind that they were doing it. And that's what was impressive the most. Dance is, in essence, it's a deep expression of who you are. You have to really let go of a lot of fear. And the one thing I learned about art, studying art in the past, in creating art and studying it, is that art is risk. And you have to be able to be willing to just take a risk over and over and over, whether it's wiping out the palette or the canvas and starting over again, or falling down with every pirouette, falling down with every plie, falling down with every push-up, falling down with every lunge and squat, and getting up and doing it over and over again with such pain and finding the beauty and the discipline of it, and then just having it all come together after hours and hours of doing it and seeing this beautiful, graceful motion. You'll be stunned when you watch it. Now, I'll resend it to you again, and it would definitely be worth watching. If I were in New York, I would definitely go see it. Simply to watch, just because you can see the feeling behind what they're doing. And dance is a beautiful way for whether or not you're disabled or not, it doesn't matter. It's a great way to really strip away and peel away all the fears and just let it go. And, you're up there, and I'm watching these people, and I bet you if you just ask them if they had a disability, the answer would probably be no, because I'm able to do this regardless of what I have medically, definitively, or what people think. It's just a stunning beauty of display of expression and movement, very incredible body control, flexibility, balance, everything. You've got to see it. And I can't speak passionately enough about it because I'm so impressed with it. So when you said, dance and CP, I think, does she literally mean dance and CP? So I kind of Googled it, and I'm all, oh my God, that is dance.
This is what I'm going to name this episode, The Dance of CP. Thank you very much.
Right.
And
absolutely.
so Yeah, I kind of opened up a can of worms with that title for you to see what disabilities can really do. And you're going to think wind's nuts, but if you get off your lazy butts, everyone, and go support the disabled community, I would be ever so grateful. And there's a program that there's actually two programs. One you can't work, you can't work internationally with both of these programs. You have to come out here and physically work with me and all the rest of the team. But there's a program called Challenge Aspen, which you've heard me speak of on this podcast several times. I mean, not kidding, several times. And they are always looking for volunteers to help with all the summer activities. And if you type in if you Google volunteer with Challenge Aspen, their volunteer page will pop up. I'm going to try and Google it and put it in the show notes. And if you speak to the CEO, who I am friends with, Houston Cowan, and just mention you've heard this wonderful podcast, Butterflies of Wisdom, he'll go on for about an hour about me. Thank you very much. And all the work I'm doing. But please, 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 this summer, before we get into the summer exercise episode, please, 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 go look in your own backyards, look in the California backyards, look in the East Coast backyards, look in the Colorado backyards, and please go volunteer with the disabled. I know that Easter Seals is national. I know that Challenge Aspen is remote to us, but you guys can afford a plane ticket and afford a week off. And if your boss doesn't give you a week off, he doesn't have a heart, and they don't have a heart, I'm sorry, but it's really hard to be, and this is going to make me cry now, it's really hard to be a disabled woman and require all this help. So if you want to help the disabled, that's my call to action this week. And yeah,
Brilliant.
That dance troupe in New York, or help the Challenge Aspen family, or come volunteer to help me with this podcast. God knows I need it. And so just help the disabled this summer, or just help the disabled barista at Whole Foods by picking up your trash off the table, so they don't understand they don't have to pick it up, and they don't have to bend over backwards to pick it up. Just help the disabled.
Right. Absolutely. It doesn't take much, right? It absolutely does not take much. And it feels great. It feels great to be philanthropic with your physical health, your financial, your spiritual, all that stuff, right? I mean, energy is abundant if you want it to be. And you just got to ask yourself, what kind of legacy am I going to leave behind? Because I always think my time on this earth is short, and I need to live every day adding massive value to as many people as I possibly can. And my measuring stick with that are my sons. They are growing like weeds, not just physically, but, emotionally and with their life activities. They're far more independent now. They don't need me anymore for most of their stuff. And it's the foundation of the healthy relationship I spend with them that helps them decide whether they want to spend time with me or not. So that window is closing, and that's how I measure life and time by. So every day I wake up, I get to do what I get to do. I don't have to do anything that's negative. And so, whether it's being on this podcast and lending a healthy ear and opinion of what I have, it does not take much to be philanthropic in many ways. And doing it with the disabled community is a fantastic way of doing it. and creating your own legacy and leading your family by example and your friends by example so that, we all live in a better world, right?
Yes, exactly. And please, 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 if your kids are going to college, I said college, the colleges are always looking for volunteer experiences on those resumes. I know that. So even if you have a junior in high school and they are preparing for college, get them to volunteer with the disabled in their own backyard. And I'm sorry, or you can fly out there and meet me in person and volunteer for Challenge Aspen. You choose, but at least volunteer with the disabled. The disabled love human interaction.
It's funny you mentioned that one. If I could just interject one thing. Last night I was talking to a friend of mine who has an autistic son, and I was asking her to educate me on, what's it like to, for an autistic person socially. And the thing is, he's a very high functioning autistic person. He goes to school. He doesn't need to be led around. He does his own thing. He has friends at school, but he doesn't have friend activities outside of school for some reason. Now, there's a great way to give back to your community right there in the disabled community, whether it's autism or CP or whatever, right? Organizing some activities outside of school for kids who do have disabilities that probably would not do the things that kids who don't have any disabilities with, right? It's other kids.
Thank you. Because it's the very similar experience with me. I had friends in school who were able-bodied, thank you very much. But actually that's not true. They did come to my birthday parties. I had about 20 people coming to my birthday parties because I threw the best birthday parties, speaking of birthdays here. But I never was put in the special ed classes, thank God, to say I was giving special accommodations, but I was never, ever, ever, ever put in the special ed classes, per se. And I know it's tough when you're a parent and you want your kid to succeed. It's easier for them to succeed with their able-bodied peers, although I fight that all the time in the education system, and the education system still doesn't listen to me as a teacher. And although the Academy Awards, I give them a huge shout-out, they listened to me more than my previous college. Thank you very much. And I had to fight my previous college just to get 2 books on audio tape, but and that was Concordia University, Irvine. And I'm like, now at the Academy Awards, I've already gone to email saying, look, this is what you need. This is how you receive it. The book is already on Kindle. So we're getting straight A's no matter what. And so they have really helped me. Now, granted, I put my paperwork in early, I started this project again in March because of my disability. I knew I needed extra paperwork, and they needed extra paperwork. So at the same time, I'm going to say, please help the disabled, and please just help the disabled. And I thank you very much, Mel, for coming on and just trying to debunk the myth about CT, but please help the disabled. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode, and we will see you later. Bye, you guys.
Take care, everybody. Bye.